Hey everyone, this is She Writes Well Too, and I am back today with a quick post. I just wanted to talk about fat white women in media versus fat black women in media. And why is it that it seems like a fat white woman, when it comes to Hollywood and acting and movies and music and things like that, is allowed to be bossy and aggressive, and no matter what her size is, she still is allowed to maintain her feminine-esque quality. She's never seen as masculine. She's still seen as dainty. She still can be flirtatious. She's still seen as sexy. She's still seen as that cute, fun girl. And on the other hand of that, I tend to notice with black women that are overweight in media and Hollywood, it's always, if you're very overweight, and I mean 300-pound plus and things like that, you're always either the super masculine, I hate a man type friend, or you're just the goofy, over the top, desperate typecast type of character. We'll look at a movie like, for example, The Greatest Showman. I think the lead singer in that movie was I think her name is Keala Settles or something like that. I could be pronouncing her name wrong. But nonetheless, you take someone like that and I will give her just due. Can she sing? Amazingly, yes. Great voice, great stage presence. I give her all of that. But it's like, we see this woman on TV, and in real life, that'd be one of those women that's kind of undesirable. I mean, but on the grand scheme, if the average black man would see a black woman of that size, the first thing he would tell her was that, oh, well, you're attractive, but you need to lose weight, or it'd have to be some other factors there in order for him to stay in the relationship. But it seems to me with white women, no matter how overweight they are, they still are promoted as these, feminine creatures. They're still allowed to be women. And on the other hand, with black women, be it you be overweight and dark skinned, that's just a bad combination, because you're always going to be seen as masculine. It's like impossible for a fat black woman to actually be seen as feminine. Now, we can say that some black women are allowed to be seen as feminine in Hollywood and on TV and things like that. We'll take someone like Lizzo, who's pretty recently garnered a lot of fame with her music and things like that. And which most people know her from her music being heavily played in commercialized media and things like that. And a lot of alcohol commercials and other commercials like that, But I feel like the reason that she's only being seen as feminine is because she's playing that kind of over the top, over sexualized, take over the stage, large and in charge type of black woman. But again, that's coming from that masculine frame. And also, she does appeal to a lot of the gay community, and to me, she comes off very drag queen like, just with her whole presence, and again, being over the top and just that over the top, here I am, loud, boisterous type black female. So it's just something that's been on my mind, and just to parlay that into why men date fat women. To be honest, I feel like the average man, like they say, is a fat black woman a poor man's trophy for the moment? Because think about it. I mean, being overweight myself, I've had to go through this plenty of times just with dating men in general. But when you're overweight, a lot of men, especially black ones, not only black men, but a lot of men feel like a overweight black woman is kind of like a target. You feel like her self-esteem's low, or she may be attractive in the face, but just heavily overweight. She may have a good job and all those other things that a lot of black men tend to go after. And so they will look over the weight if she provides some type of financial stability for them. Again, playing that mother, mammy role, taking on the masculine aspect again towards the relationship. But I noticed that I've seen personally myself throughout my life, when black men date overweight fat white women, fat Puerto Rican women, fat Hispanic women, fat Chinese women, whomever, besides being black, she is still allowed to be treated as feminine. And that's one thing that I've never understood. So it seems like in society as a whole, with other races of women, whether she be white, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever, she's still allowed to live her best feminine life. She never has to operate in her masculine the way that I see that overweight black women have to do. It seems like men just automatically put you in this category of like, okay, well, she's overweight, so I'm just dating her for the time being, probably because I'm broke or I just feel like I can't do better. And sometimes it's not that they don't feel like they can't do better. They just feel like you're an easy target because your self-esteem's low. Hate to say it, ladies, but newsflash, lots of men date fat women because they feel like your self-esteem is low, because they feel like, oh, she's so desperate to have a man, or she probably isn't used to getting attention from a man. So any little attention that he gives you, you're, jumping through hoops and all this for him. And that usually is sexually or financially. So just some thoughts that I had on my mind, and that's just personally the reasons why I feel like a lot of black men tend to target fat women, is because they feel like your self-esteem is low and you're an easy target. And also, they tend to be able to use you a little bit more financially than they would the average girl that has extreme self-esteem and feels like she can do better. And I'm not saying that overweight women don't have self-esteem, because every woman that's overweight does not have a self-esteem problem. So let me just go ahead and clear that up. That comes from her upbringing, the way that she was raised, if she had positive images around her. But I just noticed in society, one thing that differs from fat white women and fat black women is a white woman's weight does not seem to hinder her as far as in the workplace or in her romantic relationships. And I used to say that all the time, like, why is that? Why is it that black women are seen as masculine when they're heavy, and white women are still allowed to be treated as queens and just be dainty and still be submissive and still have men cater to them, still have men open doors? But that goes all the way back to just America's standard of beauty. So when you're looking at someone like Kayla Settles from this movie that's just been garnering a whole bunch of attention, and then you could take someone like, just for shits and giggles, we'll say Gabourey Sidibe from the movie Precious, you would never see someone of a darker skin tone of the same size or bigger that was black or any minority race in the same position that you see where Kayla Settles and women like that have been lifted to this platform where they can reach millions of people. And it's like, no body shaming, no one brings up weight because she's just so talented and I guess white, so that overshadows everything else. So I guess fat black women, you just need to invoke the whole presence of a fat white woman, and that seems like it'll just do us good in society overall. So this is She Writes Well Too. I just wanted to say, just because you're overweight, don't pick a man based off of your self-esteem, and be very careful of men targeting you just because they feel like you're overweight. If someone comes to you saying, oh, well, I never dated a woman this size, or I only date fat women, also be careful of that, because some men out here are literally just chubby chasers, and they do fetishize overweight women as well. So this is She Writes Well Too. I'm signing off, and it's just like, what are the perks really of being a fat black woman in society versus being a fat white one? Because it seems like being white trumps the fact that she's fat and overweight, but that doesn't seem to work in black culture as much. So She Writes Well Too. I'm signing off.